So good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm here today with Nir Khan, who's one of our speakers at CAB Forum 2024. So let me start. Nir, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Excellent. All right. Why don't we start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and the work that you've been done in regard to armoring of vehicles?
Right, thank you. So, first of all, I'm a vehicle designer rather than an engineer. So what I bring to this field is a slightly different approach. In that my background is automotive, with a focus on user experience, on aesthetic, on the human interface with the product. For 22 years, I was leading vehicle design at Plasan. And through Plasan, I was leading the team and responsible for vehicle design with various OEMs around the world for some quite significant projects, as well as for Plasan's in-house products, most famous of which is probably the Sandcat, which is based on a Ford chassis. So in that respect, my focus within the larger team and what I'm now doing, as I recently left Plasan, and so I'm now an independent vehicle design consultant and bringing this out to the wider world. But my expertise really is, as I say, that focus on design for lightweight, design for users, integrating armor and armor materials into vehicles in the most integrated way possible, so that the protection is invisible to the end user, rather than something that they constantly have to make excuses about.
No, excellent. And in fact, from our perspective at Armored Consulting, the three key issues that we keep telling our clients is that of protection and discretion and mobility, and that's an important point. All right, excellent. Thank you for that. Maybe you can just give us a brief summary of the topics that you're going to cover in your presentation at CAB Forum 24.
Yes, one of the focuses is the question of designing for lightweight. I'm often asked what's the lightest armor, and the lightest armor is not necessarily some new form of aramid or some ceramic composite. The lightest armor is the square meter that you've not put on the vehicle. Because armor is heavy. Armor will always be heavy. And there are things you can do on a design level, even when you're starting from an existing vehicle, what's euphemistically referred to as white vehicles. There are things that you can do to minimize not just the surface area of the armor, but the nature of the armor in terms of understanding angles of attack, in terms of understanding how to do the ballistic overlaps in the most efficient way possible. There's a lot that can be done on a design level that isn't necessarily related directly to the material science and to the ballistics, that can save weight. So that's the one area of focus is about how to really design for lightweight. And the other main focus is design for the user and for safety. One mistake that's often made in this industry is this feeling that the prime purpose of the vehicle is to protect people in the event of an attack. And the truth is that that's not the prime purpose of the vehicle. The prime purpose of the vehicle is to move them around on a daily basis and to do that safely. There are sometimes mistakes are made where, in order to improve the ballistic protection or the blast protection, compromises are made that can actually adversely affect the day-to-day safety of the vehicle, either making it more dangerous in an accident or more likely to have an accident. And then, if you look at the bigger picture, you zoom out of what's the purpose of this vehicle. The purpose of this vehicle is to move somebody around, to move people around on a day-to-day basis, and to ensure that they're safe. It's actually quite possible to create an armored vehicle which might behave very well in its blast tests and its ballistic tests, but actually, when you zoom out, has put the person inside in more danger than they would have been if they hadn't been protected in the first place. Because they're more likely to be injured or even killed in a traffic accident than they are in a shooting event.
Absolutely.
And as I say, a focus on the safety inside the vehicle, ensuring there's no sharp edges, ensuring that the doors are going to open after an incident, whatever that incident is, ensuring that
And not
people
slam
are
shut on your
safely-
leg as you're getting in and out of the vehicle.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so that's really kind of the twin focus of my presentation is about design for lightweight and how that's not necessarily just materials, and design for safety and design for users, giving the people inside an office a place where they can do their job and do it well, do it safely, and go home afterwards, which is, of course, excellent. Yes, is the ultimate aim.
All right, and so just to finish off then is beyond the two key issues you've mentioned, certainly being the safety issue and the lightweight. Are there any other sort of great challenges that you believe that the industry and the design side of the industry will be facing over the next few years?
There is one big challenge which is very definitely looming, and that's the move generally to electrification of vehicles, whether it's electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, which more often than not they add weight. Cars today generally are quite a lot heavier than they were 10 years ago. Sometimes to the tune of 500 or 600 kilos, and that often comes at the expense of payload. Certainly in certain weight categories of vehicles, without going into too many details now, but if the weight category of the vehicle limits it to 3.5 tons, and the vehicle weighs 2.9 tons empty, then you don't really have enough payload left to protect it. You've barely got enough payload left to put 4 or 5 people inside with their equipment. So there is going to be an awful lot more focus moving forwards on saving weight in the protection in those kind of vehicles if you're starting from a commercial chassis. And also there are safety effects in terms of ballistics of having a great big battery in the vehicle as well, in terms of protecting the battery from shrapnel that could ignite it. There's always been a trade-off between protecting the occupants inside the passenger cell and how much weight you add to protect the engine or the radiator. But that's more about operationally ensuring that your vehicle can get out of danger, rather than there being an inherent danger in itself of the engine being hit by the engine being shot at. With the battery, that's not entirely the case. It's not just if the battery gets shot at, the vehicle can't move. If the battery gets shot at, it might catch fire. It might blow up. So we now need to think about how do we protect the battery? How do we protect the battery from shrapnel, from perhaps even from a relatively small underbody blast? And there are a whole new issues that we're
you're absolutely right. It'll as the EVs come along, and I know many of our clients have been looking at the SUV style vehicle traditionally used in an civilian armored vehicle. That how do they cope with requirements of managing emissions and the electric side of things. All right. Thank you very much for your time. We very much look forward to you speaking. So thank you so much again, Nir, and we'll see you in October, CAF Forum 2024.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Thank you. Bye-bye.